हिरण्यस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So this is like a very basic class on Krishna consciousness. So those of you who have been around for some time, you already know the philosophy. So it needs to be a repetition for you. But there's always something, maybe you can get out of the class. And you can also share. At the end, we'll try to keep some time so you can share your thoughts about this. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Suta Goswami is speaking to all the sages gathered at Naimisharanya. What he had heard when Shukadeva Goswami was speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. He was in the assembly. So now he is speaking. Shukadeva Goswami is, you can say, the third speaker of the Bhagavatam. First, Vyasdeva spoke to Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parikshit. And Maharaj Parikshit, when Shukadeva Goswami spoke to Maharaj Parikshit, Suta Goswami was present in the audience. And now Suta Goswami is speaking Bhagavatam to all the sages gathered at Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi. So they are asking some questions. Many questions they asked. And what is the duty of a person who is about to die? What is the duty of a person at all times? Like that they asked. So Suta Goswami said, you are asking very pertinent questions. Because Prabhupada writes in that purport, the whole world is full of questions and answers. The birds, beasts and men are all busy in the matter of perpetual question and answers. We are asking from the morning. The birds are chirping. We don't know what they are talking. But they are asking some questions and they are getting some answers. So everybody is asking questions. The whole Bhagavatam is also full of questions. Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking so many questions to Krishna. Why? Because unless we are convinced, we cannot follow the path. We cannot get clarity in any subject matter. If you want to learn, you have to ask questions. If you have doubts, you have to ask questions. Normally in school also, you see the children who learn the most are those who ask questions because they are trying to understand. Generally, unless you understand completely, you don't ask any questions, or you didn't understand anything, then you can't ask questions. But generally, so he's saying the whole world is full of questions and answers. The birds, beasts, and men are all busy in the matter of perpetual question and answers. In the morning, the birds in the nest become busy with question and answers. And in the evening also, the same birds come back again and become busy with question and answers. How was your day? Did you get any food? The children are asking their mom. Did you get any food for us? How was your day? Did you find any trouble? I'm just saying, I don't know what Krishna knows what they are talking. Krishna can talk with a parrot also, but we don't know what they are saying. But they are chirping, all the time. You see there's so much chirping going on. So something they are asking, surely. The human being, unless he's fast asleep at night, is busy with question and answers. The businessmen in the market are busy with question and answers, and so the lawyers in the court and the students in the schools and colleges. And in the stock market, it's like a fish market. Sometimes you go and asking so many, what is the stock, where is it going up and down, what is it? So, like that. So the legislators in the parliament are also busy with question and answers. Sometimes I see the YouTube, in the parliament, Indian parliament. It becomes very chaotic, they shout. They're all asking questions and answer my question, So Prabhupada is talking about this. And although they go on making such question and answers for their whole lives, they are not at all satisfied. This is the key. Prabhupada is saying they are not satisfied. Satisfaction of the soul can be only obtained by question and answers on the subject of Krishna. Of course, we have to ask questions. What is the weather like, supposing we have to do something, what is the weather going to be like? We ask many questions. But mostly our questions are related to prayers. What is my immediate benefit? We are not thinking of Shreyas. Shreyas is long-term benefit. What is my immediate benefit? How can I improve my economic condition? What can I do to solve the immediate problem at hand? So in the same Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami tells Maharaj Parikshit that Shrota Vyadini Rajendra Nrinam Shanti Sahasraha Apashyatam Atma Tattvam Griheshu Grihamedina. He says there are many subject matters for hearing in human society. And now with modern technology, you can chat, you can do so many, all the time you can talk. So much data is being collected on Facebook. How much Facebook is growing? With every day, how many terabytes of data is being added because everybody is posting their video. I wonder sometimes how do they not run out of space? Because everybody is posting on YouTube and it's all filling up with so many videos and so many things. But the real questions to ask in human life is, who am I? What is the purpose of life? Why am I here? Why is there death? How can I become free from suffering? These are the real questions to ask. Because when you have intelligence, then you can do so many things. There was a story of Prabhupada tells this story. There was a rabbit. There was a lion, first of all. There was a lion in the jungle. And he used to kill so many animals every day. So the animals made a pact with the lion. One day we will send you. One of us will come and you eat. And you'll be satisfied. Don't kill, don't create so much because others can live in peace at least for some time. So we will send you one animal every day. So lion was said, okay, I will not disturb you. You just send me one animal every day. So now it was the turn of this rabbit. So he went to this lion. He went late. So lion became angry. Why did you come late? What happened? I was expecting you, I'm hungry, and you came late. Oh, when I was coming, I met another lion on the way. And he was about to kill me and eat me up. But I said, no, actually I am destined to be killed by that other lion. So I said, please, somehow I escaped and I came to you. The lion was very proud. He thought, who is this other lion? Show me. So he forgot about his hunger for the time being. And he said, show me the other lion. The rabbit took him to a well. So the lion roared loudly in the well and he heard his echo of the... he roared loudly and he heard his echo. So he thought there is another lion in the well and then looked inside. Also he saw there was another, his own photo he saw in the water. So he says, let me first finish this lion off, then I'll take care of the rabbit. And he jumped inside the well and the lion was finished. And the rabbit was spared. So how did he, even though he is very weak compared to the lion, but because with intelligence, you can achieve many things. So we are supposed to be very intelligent in this human form of life and ask questions. So if anybody wants to interrupt in between, it's okay. We can have a discussion. So normally we ask, Prabhupada gives an example that the dog is running on its four legs and we are running on the four wheels of the motor car, which is considered like horseless carriage. So it's a horseless carriage because of technology. What is we are running for? Ultimately, everybody is trying to find out where is food. How can I get? We need to work. I'm not saying that we don't need to work or anything like that. We have to become lazy or anything. But what is it? What is the difference between the dog running on its four legs and we are running at 70 miles an hour on the freeway? The goal is the same. Where is food? Where can I find some sense gratification? So, according to the Vedic civilization, just because you have a high-powered technological vehicle which we can run at 70 miles an hour doesn't make you advanced. Because you have technology which can go faster, but the goal is the same. So in the Mahabharata, it is described, four things are common for animals and human beings. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam samanya detat pashubhi naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhi samana. This is the verse. It says eating, mating, sleeping and defending. They are doing in their way, we are doing in our way. And we need to eat. We need all these things. In the conditioned state, we need all these things. But if our life is simply confined to eating, mating, sleeping and defending and improving this, then it says dharmena hina pashubhi samana. There is no difference between us and the animals. Anybody feeling bad? This is what the scriptures are showing. Of course, you are all devotees are chanting Hare Krishna, so it's not in the same category. But this we need to remind ourselves, So Vedanta Sutra, we talk about inquiry into the absolute truth. Who am I? It is called Athato Brahma Jigyasa. The first aphorism of Vedanta Sutra is Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now that I've got the human form of life and I have a higher intelligence, I should ask, who am I? What is the purpose of life? Where I have come from? And why I am suffering? So first of all, is there God? Is there God? Does God exist? So first of all, before we say is there God, we should be clear what is the definition of God? Because so many people say I am God, you are God, everybody is God. So what is the definition of God? Anybody like to volunteer? What is the definition of God? How can we define God? Janmadi yasya yataha. The Vedanta Sutra says, that source from which everything is coming, that is God. And we say He is omnipotent, omnipresent, all omniscient, right? He's all knowing, He's all powerful, He's all omnipresent, everywhere, present, all pervading. So if anybody fits that definition, then he can be called God. So in India we have so many gods, like sometimes some human being is called God. So does he fit this? Is he the source of everything? Everything is coming from Him? Just like my source is my mother and father. Maybe you can say like the body has come from my mother and father. Mother and father have come from their mother and father. Then that mother and father have come from their mother. If you go back, where do you end up? Ultimately Krishna, you come to Brahma. Brahma is the first. And then when Brahma comes from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And where does Garbhodakshaya Vishnu come from? So like that it goes on, you go back to Krishna. So Krishna is the original source of everything. How do we know that? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajanti mam buddha bhava smadita. And Parashar Muni gives the definition of Bhagavan. Aishwaryasya samagrasya vidyasya yashashriya jnana vairagyayoschaiva sannam bhaga iti kana. He says, anyone who is full in 6 opulences, complete in 6 opulences. What is that? Aishwaryasya samagrasya, one who is owner of all wealth. Vidyasya, who is all powerful. Yasha, who is all famous. Yasha. No, we just say Yasha and Shriya, one who is all beautiful and one who is all wise and one who is fully renounced. That person is God. So, so that is the definition of God. So we have to find out anybody who fits this definition, that person can be called God. So is there any person like that, do you think? First of all, does such a person exist? Does God exist? Mr. Trump owns so much, right? Bill Gates, who is the wealthiest man now? Amazon, Jeff Bezos. So he owns, but if you combine all the wealth of all the people, then he's not richer than everybody else. So, is he the most beautiful? So does God exist? How do we know God exists? How do we know God? There is God.
The creation have a creator. If there is a creation, there has to be a creator.
Yeah. So creation implies a creator. Just like in this room, there are so many things. There is this computer, there is this table, there is this microphone, so many things. Everything was created by somebody, some man. This computer was assembled probably in a factory. There are so many workers working and they assembled this computer. So there is, behind every creation there is a creator. One time Isaac Newton, he had a model of the solar system, the solar system, and he would move one lever and all the planets would move. So his friend came and asked him, "Hey, where did you get this model?" "Oh, it just appeared. It just appeared. It came out of nowhere." He didn't say like that. Sometimes people say, "Oh, there was a bomb blast and this nice solar system model was created." So his friend said, "No, just tell me the truth." Then Isaac Newton made a point. He said, if you don't believe that this model of the solar system came from nothing, if you don't believe it, then how can you think this whole gigantic cosmic solar manifestation came out of nothing and there is no brain behind it? Like they say, Earth is at a certain distance from the sun. If it were closer, it would become too hot. It would not be able to support life. If it was farther, then it would be too cold. So why is Earth at a certain distance from the sun? And not only that, you can predict it is working like a clock. Like this May is hot. Next May also it will be hot. Generally speaking, we can say. So it's like a clock. It is moving. It is not only revolving, it is also rotating at the same time and at a certain speed. So everything is working like a clock. So how this creation has come about? How can we say that it came out of nothing? We don't see the creator. Just like if I go on a Sunday morning, early morning, outside my home and I go to the traffic light. The traffic light is red. Then I come, then the traffic light turns green. But I don't see any person there who is turning the light green. But there are sensors. And those sensors are detecting that some car has come and the light turns green. You don't see the person, but things are working. Similarly, Krishna has hidden himself in this material world from us. Why? Because we want it that way. We want it that way, that's why Krishna has hidden himself. He has kept in the background. That's why Krishna says in 7:7 Bhagavad Gita, Matta parataram namyat kinchidashti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam poprotam sutre maniganaiva. He says, there is no truth superior to me. Everything is resting upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. So in a nice necklace, you cannot see the thread. But there is a thread behind all the pearls. So Krishna has hidden himself, just like at that traffic light, I don't see the person who created it. Similarly, Krishna has hidden himself in this material creation. Why? Because we want it that way. That will come to that. So, that is the thing. Then there are many other ways. So we'll go through some questions. I'll ask questions to myself and then we'll answer. So intelligence implies intelligence. And at the microscopic level and at the macroscopic level. If you go inside the body, it is very complex. Yesterday we were talking at our home about the DNA. DNA is very complex and it can hold so much information. Libraries of information, you have huge libraries, that whole information is stored in the DNA. And I read an interesting statement. Scientists say all the world's data can fit on a DNA hard drive the size of a teaspoon. How much information is there in there? So somebody must have designed it. How come it just came out of nothing? Then the other way to look at it is I don't remember everything, so I wrote it down. The other way to look at it is for every urge, there is a fulfillment of urge in nature. Every urge that you have, supposing you are thirsty and there is no water, how would you feel? So who made this arrangement? As soon as the child is born, there is milk in the mother's breast. Prabhupada said some MIT guy made the arrangement like that. Somebody from MIT made this arrangement. Who made this arrangement? We may say, oh, it's nature. But Prabhupada would often say, whose nature is it? Nature is not working independently. Nature is working under Krishna's direction. God's direction. We have not come to Krishna yet, but Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Krishna is saying, God is saying, the whole world is moving under my direction. Just like we have blood bank, right? Every now and then in my office where I work, there is this truck comes along and says, want to donate blood? Why? Why can't they manufacture blood in the industry? Can they manufacture blood in the industry? Nobody can manufacture. They can't even manufacture a wheat grain in the industry or a rice grain in the industry. Otherwise there will be no shortage of food. But we can process. We can manufacture computers, we can manufacture iPhones and so many things. But you can't eat this computer. You can't eat the iPhone. You need wheat and grains. So where are they coming from? This is arrangement of the Lord. So for every urge that we have, there is a fulfillment of the urge in nature. And who is, like for instance, we are hungry, so there is food. We are thirsty, so there is water. We have the sex drive, so there is the opposite gender. Right? Or the same gender nowadays. So this arrangement is there because of the Supreme Lord. It is not just happened arbitrarily. And, cows eat banana peel. Have you ever tried eating banana peel? They eat banana peel and potato peel and they give us milk. Can any scientist manufacture an instrument that you put banana peel and get milk out of the other end? You cannot do that. So all this arrangement is there. If you have intelligence, we will see in nature that there is the arrangement for every. The elephant gets its ton of sugar, and the ant gets its little grain of sugar. Krishna is providing. God is providing. What is that verse in the Nityo Nityanam Chetnas Chetnanam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kanam. It is said there are many eternals. We are all eternals. We are souls. But amongst all these eternals, there is one eternal who is fulfilling the needs of all the other eternals. And that is God. Vidadhati Kama. Dadati means to give and Kama means desire. Krishna is fulfilling the desires of all the living entities. Sometimes, there is a debate. Is God personal or is God impersonal? What is the answer? Both. That is the right answer. God is both. He is personal and impersonal. Depending on how we want to see Him, that is how He manifests. Yathamam prapadyante, tans tatheva bhajami. Krishna even says, if you want to worship any demigod, I will make the faith steady. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta shraddhayam architum ichchati tasya chalam shraddha. He says, I give them achala shraddha to worship a certain demigod. Krishna is giving that shraddha. So, how we approach God, that is how God manifests Himself to us. But this is very nicely resolved in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is asking, Arjuna uvacha evam satata yukta ye bhaktastvam pariupasate ye chapi aksharam avyaktam tene yoga vittamaha. Who is superior, one who worships you as impersonal Brahman or one who worships you with devotion? Shri Bhagavan uvacha Mayaveshya manoye mam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya pariyopetas tene yukta tamamataha. This is second verse of the 12th chapter of the Gita. So Krishna is saying, those who worship me in devotion, my personal form, they are more superior. These are directly answered in Bhagavad Gita. So for devotees there is not a problem, but for, there is a big debate in India, especially among the followers of Shankaracharya and others. And in the 7th chapter, Krishna says, Avyaktam vyaktim apannam manyate mam abuddhaya param bhavam ajananto mamanuttamam avyayam. He's saying, fools think, Avyaktam vyaktim apannam. I was unmanifest before, and now I have taken a personal form. Achieved a purpose. Manyate mam abuddhaya. Those who are not intelligent, they are of the opinion that I was impersonal before and now I have taken a personal form. They don't know param bhavam ajananto. They don't know my supreme nature. Mam anuttamam avyayam. So that is Krishna is saying. And then he says, Brahmano hi pratishta aham. I am the source of the impersonal Brahman. So God is realized in 3 features: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And each of that is progressively increasing realization of the absolute truth. So Brahman is when you see God from a distance, you see the light. When you go a little closer, you see the form of the Lord. And when you go even closer, you see not the Lord as a form, but He has activities. And that is Bhagavan. So there are 3 aspects of absolute truth: Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat means eternity. When you go to the Brahman, you feel peaceful. But is peace alone enough for the jiva? Suppose you are all alone in this world. You are very peaceful. But do you like that peace? You feel bored, right? Boredom. Why people feel bored? Not because there is nobody they feel lonely. When we have a wedding, we invite others. It's not just myself and my partner. Why? We want others to be part of the birthday party. We invite others. Because to have Ananda, peace is just coming from negative to zero. In material life you are troubled. So you come to this Brahman realization, then you feel peace. But how long you can stay in that platform of peace? We are not just peaceful. We are pleasure-seeking entities. We are Anandamayo Bhyasa. We are looking for pleasure. So in the Brahman aspect of the Lord, you only realize the Sat aspect of the absolute truth. Paramatma is a little bit more advanced. You realize, the Lord is a form. And you become conscious of that form of the Lord. And Ananda is the Bhagavan realization, where you have Sat, Chit, and Ananda. This is the... So Prabhupada gave this analogy of a train. Maybe we can do it. I have so many questions that I have made, which people can ask, those who come to Krishna consciousness. So I just thought. So there is an analogy of a train. 3 villagers who never saw a train went to the railway platform. At night, it was night, and they want to see the train. So, but they are also a little impatient. So the train is coming from a distance. One villager sees the train, he sees the light, and he goes back. Because he's tired, he has worked very hard in his fields. He's tired, he goes back. So for him, what is the realization of the train? That light. But is train the light? Light only. Light is part of the train. Another villager stands for some time, then what happens? The train pulls in on the railway platform. Then he sees, oh, the train is not just the light, but it has a form. There are bogies. Then he goes home. So he got another realization of the train. Another person keeps standing, and the train pulls in, and there are people going in and out. Now he saw the train not as a form, but there are passengers in it, and there is activity going on. So similarly, this is Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan realization. And the most complete realization, when you have Bhagwan realization, it automatically includes Paramatma and Brahman realization, because you have gone to the source. So why is it difficult to accept the personal form of God? Because two reasons. We think if God is a form, it must be like mine. And if I am here in the temple, I am not in my home right now. But God is all-pervading, so it doesn't fit with the idea that God is all-pervading and yet God is a form. So how is it possible that God is a form? Maybe if we accept God as impersonal energy, energy is all-pervading. But Krishna can expand himself, God can expand himself. Krishna says, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina. In my unmanifest form, I pervade the entire creation. Looks like the sun and sunshine. So Krishna's energy is pervading everywhere. Not only that, he also expands into every atom. Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastam. In the Brahma Samhita, he said, every paramanu means the atom. Krishna is expanded atom. So he can expand, and that way he pervades. Another difficulty with accepting a form is fear of relationship. In this world we have bitter relationships. Again, to have a relationship with God, what if it doesn't turn out to be good? We have inherent fear. With God, if maybe something is there, maybe some inabilities we have feel in this relationship. But you know what? God is all powerful, all knowing, but He's not arrogant. He's very kind. That is his aspect that makes him very dear. Supposing a person is very knowledgeable, very powerful, but is very arrogant and very rude, you don't like to be near that person. But God is very kind, very benevolent, well-wisher to everyone. So that a relationship with God is not like the relationships in this world, which may become full of, anomalies and inabilities. So then, if God exists, why can't I see Him? What is the answer? If God exists, why can't I see Him? If Mr. Trump exists, let him come here now immediately. Then only I will believe Mr. Trump exists. God is the Trump of all the Trumps. Do you think God is going to come because you order Him to come and say, okay, I don't see you, come here and dance before me, so He's going to dance before you? So if you want to see Mr. Trump, there is a process, right? You have to follow a process, you go to the secretary, and you should have a good reason to see him. There's so many people. And then you take an appointment, and then you can see Mr. Trump. So, and what is the power for seeing also? Can we see? There are many cell phone waves in this room. Can we see? Can't see. There is electricity in the wire. We can see electricity. So many things we cannot see. So seeing is believing is not correct. There are many things we cannot see. But if you want to see God, there is qualification required. Just like, yeah, you can't see our eyebrows. We can't see. So, if the light goes off in this room and it's night, you cannot see anything. So what is the power of our seeing? But if Mr. Trump wants to see you, it's easy. He can come and you have to show yourself to him if he wants to see you. So, we have to act in a way that God will want to see us, rather than we wanting to see God. That is good desire. We want to see God. We come to the temple. God is standing right here on the altar, of course. But if we really want to see Krishna, like in person, and reciprocate with Him, then we have to act in a way that He will want to see us. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, don't try to see God. Act in a way that God will want to see you. And when God wants to see you, then that's it. Like, sometimes we offer to God and we say, God, please. But if God wants to take, He can take. Like from Kolavich Sridhar and Sudama. They didn't even offer their rice to Krishna. And Krishna snatched it. So this is so before we demand any proof for anything, there has to be qualification. I often use this analogy that supposing somebody got Nobel Prize in physics. Let's say I got Nobel Prize in physics. Of course, I'm not that clever, but let's assume. And then I go to a villager in India and say, see, this paper gave me a Nobel Prize. And he never went to school. So while so many people are appreciating me, he's thinking, what is this paper, This mathematical equation, and what is this? I cannot understand. That's okay, whatever it is. He can't understand because he's not qualified. So whenever we ask proof, there has to be qualification to understand the proof. Otherwise, proof is not, even if it is presented, you cannot understand. So the qualification to understand or see God is purity of heart. When we have purity of heart, then we can see God. And sometimes people say, can I become God? Yes, you can become God in this material world. And you can have so many followers. But not like, sometimes people say, well, I can do meditation and I can become God. We can become godly, but we cannot become God. Why? That's how it is solved. The position of God is reserved for that particular supreme person, and we cannot become God. But God, Prabhupada says that impersonalists want to become God. But Vaishnava philosophy is you can become higher than God. If you become His pure devotee, then Krishna will dance, as you say. Pure devotional service controls Krishna. One of the 6 symptoms of pure devotional service is Lord Chaitanya, who is standing here, he said to Advaita Acharya, you can sell me in the market. I am your property. Just like we sell an animal, something like that people sell, not devotees, but others sell animals. So God is ready to take a very humble position for His pure devotees. So we can become Vaishnava philosophies, we can become greater than God, Prabhupada said. So there's many things, and it's 12:15. This was all about God, then now about me. So who am I and why do I exist? This can be a question. Who am I? Are we a combination of chemicals? Can you create life starting with chemicals? Sometimes they create this test tube baby, right? Test tube baby. Doctors know better. But where do they take the sperm and ovum? They take from living person. Can they manufacture sperm and ovum in the laboratory and make a baby? No. They take it from living people. So Prabhupada's book, Life Comes from Life. Life does not come from chemicals. We cannot combine some chemicals and produce life. Not even a mosquito, Prabhupada says, you can even if you produce a mosquito in the laboratory. If life were a combination of chemicals, then when somebody dies, why don't you inject the chemicals and bring him back to life? One day we'll be dead. Can we be revived? No. By doing some injection and injecting some chemicals? No. So life cannot be produced from chemicals. And Prabhupada gave the example of lemon tree. Lemon tree produces many lemons, and each lemon is full of citric acid. But if the lemon tree dies, there is no more production of lemons. Right? So chemicals are produced because the soul is there, not that the life is generated because of the combination of chemicals. And as soon as that soul leaves the body, everybody talks about how can we get rid of the body, when is the time for funeral, right? Even the most beautiful person, you like to go and spend a night or something like that, sleep on the same bed with a beautiful person. Even the husband, wife, they feel scared. Well, the soul is left. So this is the first thing we have to understand, which Krishna talks in the Bhagavad Gita. That we are not this body, and in our common language we say, my car, my computer, my phone. That means there are two things. There is the phone, there is me. Right? We never say, so we say my body. That means there is body and there is me. Just like my computer means I possess this computer. So my body means I possess the body, but I am not the body. Now that doesn't mean we don't take care of the body. But there is a distinction between the driver and the car. So that is the understanding. And we say, my father passed away, he passed away. Sometimes doctors check the pulse and say, he's gone. So who's gone? His body is there, right there. Who's gone? The soul is left. So that is the real. And why do I exist? So Krishna has expanded into many. Krishna is one, he has expanded into many. Eko Bahushyam. Krishna has expanded into many. When did he expand? We cannot tell. Because we are eternal. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin, nayam bhutva bhavitavana buddha, ajo nitya shashvato yam purano, na hanyate hanyam bhanishyate. This is second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says the soul is not born, he has not come into existence, the soul never will die. So Krishna is expanded into many. Why? Why do a man gets married and he wants to expand? He wants to have children. Where is his idea coming? This is there in Krishna. He has expanded as all of us. We are sample Krishna, Prabhupada said. Why he has expanded into many? For the purpose of having a loving relationship. But now, if the child is born and the child says, Mother, I came from your belly, I want to go back into your belly. What is that, mother says? I had you to have a loving relationship. So when somebody says, Lord, I want to merge into you back, the Lord feels like that. What is this he saying? He wants to go merge back into me. I had you so that you would have a loving relationship, and you want to terminate your existence and go back into. That is absurd. That, of course, the Lord grants that desire, as Sahijya Mukti, He gives. But because our constitutional position is not to be had, we have peace, as in the Brahma Jyoti. But we cannot feel Ananda there. So we fall down. Ananda is bliss. So we don't have bliss there. So Brahma says, those who neglect the shelter of your lotus feet, even though they rise to the Brahma Jyoti, they fall down. Aruya krichena param padam tataha patanti adho anadrita yusmadam grahaya. Brahma is speaking in the 10th chapter, 10th canto, 14th chapter. So this is so I exist. The real purpose that I exist is to have a loving relationship with God and His devotees. Now God includes His devotees also. That is why I exist. And but Krishna has given us a free will, because love cannot be forced. So He has given us a free will to love Him or not love Him. So when we decide, I want to be on my own, where do we come? Where is the kingdom of God? When we decide that we come to this material world. So the material world is created. Why this world exists? For two purposes. One is to facilitate our desire to be independent of God. That is why this material world is there. And the second reason is we get misery here. So it is an impetus for us to turn back to God. Like in prison here is called correctional facility. Right? Here's a nice name for prison. It's a correctional facility, you don't say. Like I said, slaughterhouse, it's a little bad word. Meat packing industry. How they say, prostitute. No, professional sex workers. So you make it real nice, seem very nice. But anyway, so so it's a correctional facility. This material world is a correctional facility for us to turn back to God. It's to rectify our consciousness. Because love cannot be forced, so we have been given this free will, freedom to love Him, to love God, or to be independent of Him. Okay, so I'll maybe stop here. There are so many questions I have like that, but we cannot, maybe another time. But if anybody has any thing to say, this is a basic philosophy of Krishna consciousness. Yeah.
In India, those who always say that God is impersonal, do they read Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, they read Bhagavad Gita and from the Bhagavad Gita, they make an interpretation that God is.
What was the question they asked?
The question is that those who are impersonal, those who follow the impersonal path, do they read Bhagavad Gita? Because if you read Bhagavad Gita, there is no way you can, but they interpret, because so that is interpretation. Prabhupada says directly, if you look at the verse, Krishna is saying aham, but then they say, oh, it is not to Krishna, it is something else other than Krishna. It's like I tell you, bring a glass of water, and then you think, oh, water is blue, maybe something else he wants, and like this, something. You make a whole thing and you bring something, a ball, blue, something, instead of water. So it is like that. So Prabhupada said that before I published my Bhagavad Gita, there were no devotees. Everybody read Bhagavad Gita, but hardly anybody became a devotee. But when he presented Bhagavad Gita as it is, there are thousands of devotees. Because when the truth is presented as is, then it will appeal. Because we are all looking for, in English they say there are no atheists in a foxhole. Foxhole is that where bombs are dropping and you go down inside and you hide from the bombs. At that time, you pray to God. Or when they say there is a turbulence in the plane and you are nicely sleeping and they announce that we may come down, and our plane, we don't know, one of our engine has stopped working, and then what do you say? So this is in the heart it is all there, the desire to have, to seek God, but we say God is impersonal. But how can you love something which has no characteristic, which does not reciprocate? Can I love this light coming out of this bulb here? How can you have a relationship with that light? The light. To have a relationship, there has to be a person. Yeah.
So instinctively also, we try to personalize everything.
Yeah.
Like for example, even if we don't know about the philosophy, but we know people give names to their cars or things, so it shows that instinctively we have a desire to personalize things and objects.
Yeah, we write these biographies, we write biography of a pen. People write okay. Right? But they like to personalize, give it the pen as if the pen is thinking and like that. So anything else?
I have a question on the creator. Can you clarify the concept of the source of energy behind the creator? Why was the creator?
Why?
Like, how
Why there is creation?
yeah, there is a creation and then a creator.
Like who created the creator? Is that the question?
Yeah, maybe the source, the concept behind the
Source of
creator.
creator.
Yes.
So actually everything exists eternally in one sense. We are never created because although Krishna says I am the source, but Krishna says there never was there a time when I did not exist, when you and all these kings assembled here. So we are always there. Krishna and his energies are eternally present. There was never a time, because we are under the influence of time, we cannot understand that. But Krishna is the source, but it is eternal. It is inconceivable to us. But Krishna is the source and everything is eternal. So we are all eternals. That is how it is. Is that answering your...
Yeah.
But why this material world is created is because we want to enjoy independently of God. That's why we came here. Otherwise, there is no need for, just like government, when they plan a city, they plan the parks, they plan everything. But they also plan a prison. Does it mean the government wants somebody to go in the prison? No, but they know that there will be some people who will go into prison. And is there a time when the prison will be empty? Do you think so? All the jailers and everybody will be out of job, otherwise will be. But they are secure. They know somebody will go out, somebody will come in. So this is the material world is always like that. It is created, and then some people living in it. Then it is wound up. Then again, it's all the living entities that are dormant. They again get their chance to. So it goes on like that. Ultimately, everybody will go back home, back to God at some point. But how long will it take? So that is the question. Ultimately, everybody maybe after many, many lifetimes. But Prabhupada says, finish your business in this life. Don't wait for the next life. When we come across this verses, Nihapi kama nasosti tattavayana vidyate swalpambiyasya dharmasya. Even little advancement can protect one from then we feel very comforted. Oh, maybe next life I'll have. But Krishna is giving, it is not to become complacent. We should try to, although there is assurance from the Lord, but Prabhupada says we should try to finish in this life. We should not wait. But even if it remains unfinished, then we will get another opportunity, a better opportunity in the next life. Till we perfect our existence. So the Creator and the creation is for that. Otherwise, the Creator is always existing and so are we.
Is it in pure form? The creator is just without desire, it's just boredom. Like when you say like boredom exists if there is no desire. So desire is there, that's why the material world exists. And then if there is no desire, you go back to Godhead and there is boredom there.
So we cannot be desireless. The living entity has always desires. This microphone has no desires. This computer has no desires. But the jiva cannot be desireless. We cannot become desireless. But we can become free from material desires. So that is the pure state. In the original pure state, we have spiritual desires. But that becomes contaminated. Love of God transforms into lust. And that is why we come into this material world. But the process of devotional service is to transform that lust back into love. So we cannot be desireless. There are desires. If you try to be desireless and you go to the Brahma Jyoti, after a while you don't feel any bliss. And then you fall down.
Desireless is also desire.
To become desireless is also a desire. Like somebody was saying, somebody wrote, you don't need a book for spiritual enlightenment. He has written a book that you don't need a book. Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.